Imagine a city bathed in golden light, the heartbeat of romance, the capital of art, revolution, and grandeur. Now look up, towering above it all, an iron giant, nearly scraping the heavens, the Eiffel Tower. But did you know this beloved icon was once called an abomination, that it was nearly destroyed twice, and that hidden within its iron skeleton lies a mysterious secret locked away from the public for over a century. This is the untold story of the Eiffel Tower. It was the late 19th century. Paris was preparing for a world-changing event, the 1889 Exposition Universelle, a celebration of human achievement, innovation, and power. The city needed something breathtaking, something to show the world that France was at the pinnacle of modern engineering. Enter Gustave Eiffel, a man with vision, a man with ambition, a man who dared to defy the limits of iron and sky. His dream? A 300-meter tower, taller than any structure on Earth. But when the design was revealed, the reaction was not awe, it was disgust. A group of 300 of the most esteemed artists, writers, and architects of France signed a furious petition calling it a monstrous skeleton, a disgrace to Paris, and useless and monstrous. They wrote, "We protest with all our strength against the erection of this gigantic black smokestack, crushing beneath its barbarous mass Notre Dame, the Louvre, the Arc de Triomphe." Paris hated it, but Eiffel, he was unmoved. He simply said, "My tower will be loved." January 28, 1887. Construction starts. A tower of 18,038 pieces of wrought iron, held together by over 2.5 million rivets. The iron skeleton climbed into the sky, one piece at a time, defying gravity, defying expectations. But the dangers were real. One misstep, a fatal plunge. And the wind? It howled through the open framework, making the entire structure sway and creak like a ship in a storm. Eiffel's workers faced death every day. Yet, miraculously, not a single fatality occurred. Eiffel had designed special moving platforms and safety harnesses, a revolutionary concept at the time. 2 years later, in 1889, the impossible happened. The tower was complete. When the tower opened to the public, the critics were silenced. It was a sensation. Thousands flocked to see this miracle of iron. People who had once mocked it now climbed it with trembling hands, overwhelmed by its beauty, its scale, its presence. Even the great Thomas Edison visited, leaving a note for Eiffel that read, "To Monsieur Eiffel, the engineer, the brave builder of such an enormous and original specimen of modern engineering, from one who appreciates all engineers and all great works." But the Eiffel Tower had an expiration date. It was meant to stand for only 20 years. In 1909, it was set to be torn down, scrapped, dismantled. But fate had other plans. Eiffel, always one step ahead, had been using his tower for secret military experiments. He had installed a radio antenna at its peak, an idea considered absurd at the time. But during World War I, that very antenna intercepted crucial enemy messages. The Eiffel Tower had just saved France, and so it was spared. Fast forward to 1940. The Nazis have invaded Paris. Hitler himself walks through the silent, occupied streets, staring up at the Eiffel Tower. He orders that the swastika flag be flown from the top. The Parisians, they resist. They cut the tower's elevator cables, forcing the Nazis to climb 1,665 steps if they dared to reach the top. And then, a shocking twist. In 1944, as Allied forces approached, Hitler issued a chilling command: destroy the Eiffel Tower, reduce Paris to rubble. But the Nazi commander in charge refused. Paris was saved, and so was the tower. Today, The Eiffel Tower welcomes nearly 7 million visitors a year. It sparkles every night, a beacon of love, of history, of defiance. But here's something most visitors don't know. Hidden at the top, tucked away from the public eye, is a secret apartment, a private chamber, built by Gustave Eiffel himself. He used it for secret meetings, for quiet contemplation, and for one very special guest, Thomas Edison. The apartment remains intact, frozen in time, a relic of a man who saw beyond metal and bolts, who dreamed of something impossible and made it real. So next time you stand beneath the Eiffel Tower, remember, it was never meant to exist. It was almost never built. It was almost destroyed. And yet, it stands, a monument not just to engineering, but to the power of vision, to the defiance of the impossible. Because in the end, the Iron Giant won.